Thanks for applying with us, where we believe safety begins with you. Communication. It is extremely important to fully understand the role you're being hired for. Should any of your job duties differ from what your recruiter has explained to you, it is imperative that you contact them immediately. Report all safety concerns. If you feel there is a hazard at a job site you've been assigned to, or do not feel safe at work, please call your recruiter immediately. Safety is a mindset. It is something you must always be cognitively aware of while at work. When first arriving at a job site, take note and abide by company rules and procedures. Make it a point to participate in any safety-related trainings and pay attention. Company rules are in place to protect you. Make sure that you're comfortable with your job duties. If you don't feel confident or comfortable at the job site for any reason, please reach out to your recruiter immediately. We want to make sure that you feel safe with the work you are doing. It is your job to familiarize yourself and follow the customer safety practices and policies. Good judgment and common sense go a long way. If you combine the two ideas and follow the customer safety policies, you'll minimize any potential risk or injury to yourself. It is your responsibility to ensure that you are following a job site safety rules. Failure from not following such rules can lead to disciplinary action. When you first arrive to a job site, make it a point to familiarize yourself with the customer's material safety data sheets, and don't be afraid to ask for them if they aren't present. Take notice of the job site's means of egress routes. Always make it a point to locate the nearest emergency exit in case of an emergency. Be sure to always know who at the job site will be your lead in the event of an emergency and report any emergencies to them. Familiarize yourself with the facility's first aid and eye wash stations. Knowing where they are before an incident occurs can help you in the future. Take notice of any posted safety signage and be aware they are in place to warn you of any potential dangers. Understanding your job. It is important to be aware of the specific type of work you are being assigned to and your responsibilities before you accept the position. If the job we're assigned to you does not line up with the duties that you're conducting at a job assignment, please inform your recruiter immediately. If for some reason you don't feel up to a task or don't feel physically comfortable with the duties that have been assigned to you at a job site, please inform your recruiter immediately. Make sure you feel safe in every facet of your job. We want to ensure that you do not feel that you're putting yourself in harm's way. If you bear witness to any unsafe acts or conditions, it is your job to report such conditions to both your site supervisor and your recruiter. As a reminder, please be sure not to operate any faulty tools or equipment or machinery missing safety guards. Before operating any machinery, be sure you have been properly trained. If you're asked to use a machine and do not have the proper training, please ask your site supervisor. If the proper training is not administered, please notify your recruiter immediately. Most accidents can be avoided. The majority of accidents can be attributed to employee shortcuts and errors, overconfidence, poor or lack of housekeeping, mental distractions, neglect of safety procedures, or lack of preparation. Before operating a machine, you should review a checklist to ensure that the machine is in functioning order. Never use a machine that is damaged or has missing guards. Also, never use a machine that has a lockout tagout. To avoid injury, ensure that you get plenty of sleep before work. Ensure that you pay attention and follow all safety instructions. If something is not clear to you, ask. And always remember to use personal protective equipment. In the event you are injured, it is required that you report the injury immediately to your supervisor and your recruiter, regardless of how minor the injury is. All injuries will be reviewed and investigated to ensure that they are not occurring on a frequent basis. It should be noted that untimely reporting of injuries will be subject to investigation to determine if the injury is work-related. Reporting an injury for workers' compensation that is not work-related is fraud, in which hefty fines and penalties can result. This can also include lengthy prison sentences. When you are injured, you will be asked to complete an injury packet that includes a state specific form as well as written accounts of how the incident occurred by you and your supervisor. If the injury is an emergency, please call 911. If the injury is not of an emergency nature, you will be sent out to our local clinic for medical treatment. It should be understood that in the event a workers' compensation claim is filed, there will be a post-injury drug screen. We also have a return to work program in which we will accommodate your injury to get you back to work as soon as possible. PPE. One of the most direct ways for avoiding an injury is the proper utilization of personal protective equipment, or more commonly referred to as PPE. Be sure to use eye protection when handling items such as drills, grinders, and blowing devices. Gloves are also very good at protecting your hands from certain types of machinery, sharp objects, or lifting certain objects. Back injuries are the leading cause of missed work. Should you have any physical problems or restrictions, please let your recruiter know so we may appropriately accommodate you. Back injuries and strains can be negated by stretching before and after your work shift. To protect yourself from a back injury, practice proper lifting techniques. When lifting an object, ensure you have a proper grip. Make sure your back is straight and lift with your legs. Keep the object close to your body. Avoid twisting and turning while lifting. Whenever possible, use mechanical assistance such as a forklift or a pallet jack. Never think twice to ask for help for items that weigh more than 35 pounds. If there is ever a moment where you feel your job duties do not match the description your recruiter gave you, please inform your recruiter as soon as possible. In the event you're required to use a ladder, ensure that it is an OSHA-approved ladder by reviewing the ladder label. Ladders should be used in circumstances to avoid repeated or unnecessary reaching over your head. Never use boxes, tables, stools, or pallets for items that are out of reach. Lastly, you should never be working in a position that requires you to climb over 4 feet. Safety is an attitude and includes teamwork and support from all peers. Use common sense and keep a safety mindset. Ensure good housekeeping by picking up items and storing them in their proper places. Be sure to utilize all personal protective equipment and, of course, always follow proper operating instructions. Never use a machine with removed guards. Never remove the guards. And if you come across a machine where the guard has been removed, inform your supervisor immediately. If a machine has moving parts, do not place your hands in the moving parts area. Make sure to dress appropriately around machinery. Be sure to tuck in any loose clothing, remove any jewelry, and secure any loose long hair. Please ensure that you're trained properly on a machine before utilizing it, and always use common sense. Don't indulge in horseplay or accuse those who won't go along of not having a sense of humor. Horseplay will not be tolerated and is grounds for immediate termination. Don't participate in horseplay and report it to your supervisor. Avoid any type of distractions in the workplace. Ergonomics means the study of equipment design intended to maximize productivity by reducing an individual's fatigue and discomfort. Injuries from improper ergonomics are no fun and can easily be avoided. When assessing your workstation, ensure that your chair is the proper height. You can determine this by adjusting the chair to allow your feet to sit flat on the floor or on a footrest. The top of your monitor should be at eye level. You and the monitor should be 16 to 25 inches apart. Your keyboard should remain in close proximity so that all keys can be easily reached. When typing or using a mouse, your hands, wrists, and arms should be parallel with the floor. Your elbows should be at a 90-degree angle with your wrists slightly bent. Keep your neck straight and refrain from straining your eyes. By practicing proper ergonomics, you can avoid various common conditions associated with improper ergonomics, such as tennis elbow, tendinitis, and carpal tunnel syndrome. Other ways of preventing these types of conditions include changing tasks or taking periodic breaks. One area of safety that is often overlooked is the simple use of electrical cords. Practice caution in the workplace whenever plugging in an electrical cord. You can do this by ensuring that the item being plugged in is not damaged or has a defective cord. Also, you never want to utilize an outlet that does not have a protective cover. If you come across this, you should report this immediately to your supervisor. If a plug is not of the 3-prong grounding variation, do not use it. Before plugging an item in, please make sure your area is clean and dry before connecting it or operating it. While it is common sense, be mindful that all electrical devices should be kept at a distance from water or flammables. If you're assigned in a facility that handles chemicals, be sure to familiarize yourself with these items. Take the time to read the labels and understand the chemical's specific application, including how to properly use and store them. Never mix chemicals without proper training or instructions. If you're working in an area where machinery is present, familiarize yourself with the job site's lockout-tagout program. These systems are put in place to protect you by controlling hazardous energy. Never remove a lockout-tagout, even if asked to do so. Ensure you are following the job site's lockout-tagout program. The removal of a lockout-tagout should only be something conducted by a supervisor or a properly trained, designated person at your job site. We thank you for taking the time to apply with us and wish you the best. And remember, safety first.